Hello everybody, I'm Matthew White, and welcome to another edition of FYI right here on the Real Estate Channel. I'm pleased to have as my guest today in studio, Bryan Groulx from Digital Properties. Bryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Digital Properties and what you guys are about.
Digital Properties, it's all about simply showcasing real estate, whether it's residential property or commercial property. We have no other motive other than to actually feature through photographs and virtual tours the actual property itself.
Okay, so that's exactly what you guys do.
Yeah, there's no advertising, there's no database generation, there's no attraction to try to get our website to be a hub for people to look for real estate. It's all about working for the realtor or for the property developer to make their property as good as possible to help in marketing it and selling it.
Now, what personally led to you to the virtual industry?
My whole experience as a home buyer and a home seller originally is what led me to develop this business. My background is in video, so I've been trained in my daily life has always been about composition, lighting, photography, videography, and I want to bring that to the real estate industry. Looking into it, I'd found immediately that there already was an entire market already established with all kinds of virtual tour and photography providers. But the problem was, from my point of view personally, is that it wasn't done to a standard that I felt it should be. There was always an ulterior motive by the virtual tour provider in how they're photographing and presenting the real estate for the realtor. What I found is the common thread between the multitude of service providers in any city, specifically here in the Lower Mainland, is that the motivation isn't specifically on their part to showcase the property. It's also to generate advertising for their website, to make their website a hub for consumers to look for real estate.
Is there a difference between what you would say do for a residential client and perhaps a commercial client?
What makes Digital Properties unique is that we treat residential properties and commercial properties absolutely identical. And that's where we kind of go above and beyond other service providers. The same kind of polish and beautiful composition that we take when we say feature a hotel, we'll take that same care to an individual condo, a rancher in Surrey. It doesn't matter. We give intricate detail and attention to each property that we feature, photograph, and showcase.
So the fact that you just focus on those properties, you feel it doesn't become as diluted as maybe some of the other companies, like looking at all the different aspects, you're just simply looking at the property.
Exactly. It's about making it look as good as possible. What is wonderful about Digital Properties and what's wonderful about this business that I do as a service provider is it's completely honest, and it's hard to find a business that is so transparent, is that there's no lying, there's no misdirection. We go in there and we shoot it the way it actually looks. We'll give it the best color tone possible, we'll give it the best composition possible, but it is what it is. As the property has been staged, that's how we photograph it. So you get the true look and the true showcase of that property as if we were standing right in the center of that room and turning your head around 360 degrees, up, down, and around. We show you how it looks.
Absolutely, like from floor to ceiling, just like you could stand up and look right down and right.
Interestingly enough, we're one of the few providers, never mind in the Lower Mainland, but in North America that does true 360 degrees. What's very common to see when you're looking at virtual tours, it doesn't matter if it's on a realtor's website, if you're looking at a hotel on Expedia.ca, you see that spin around, so you see around. Okay, you don't get to actually pan up with the mouse and pan down with the mouse like we provide.
It's like viewer's choice for where they want to go.
You can see what the floor looks like. You can see if there's vaulted ceilings, a chandelier. We give that kind of full detail. We go beyond that as well, not just the up and down detail when we're doing a virtual tour, but as well, if there's a window view, we make sure you can see out that window. It's all too common from providers to produce a virtual tour or a photograph, and as you pan around that room, that window's washed out because they've gone in there, they've taken a single photograph and boom, processed, posted up online. What we'll do is actually go through multiple exposures from dark to light and blend those exposures together so you get the window view outside and you get the light view inside. And that goes not just the same for outdoor window views, but for lights as well. It's all common that you see in photographs that the lights in the room are blown out, kind of washed out on the ceiling. But through the techniques that we use, it's a complete even contrast from light to dark in those photos.
So no stone is left unturned, you can see it all.
Not at all.
Now, do you guys subscribe to a particular philosophy when it comes to work and service?
Our philosophy at Digital Properties is specifically to feature that property. We have no other agenda at all. So we'll take that specific time to do a good job and do it better than anyone else. I actually encourage realtors and property developers to try other service providers first. In fact, most of our business comes from individuals who have already used competing service providers, taken a look at our work, and then made the decision right there. It's about quality.
So try the rest, then come to the best type of thing?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Now take us through the process of how this actually works. Like without getting into too much detail that may tell people things, your competitors or whatever there. How do you actually do this? You go there to the property.
Logistically, it's a very simple process. And in fact, amongst all the service providers, it's a very similar process. You go in there with a camera, typically with the exception of a large flash, a large bounce flash. There isn't any other lights brought in. It's using natural lighting. It's a nice, heavy professional tripod. On top of it's mounted is a special tripod head for doing panoramas. And then at specific degree intervals, we take a series of shots around the room, all the way around 360 degrees, plus the top and bottom caps. And in each camera position as we're shooting, we're making sure to take those multiple exposures to get that range of light to dark in case you're looking at a window or looking at blaring lights in the room or a beautiful chandelier.
Right.
Then we take those photos, we bring it into the computer, we stitch it with specialized software so it becomes one unfolded giant picture from end to end. Then that picture is taken and placed into a web application that mathematically warps that photograph into a sphere so that when you're looking at that virtual tour online, it actually is just one giant end-to-end picture, but you're scrolling around in it based on that perception that viewer gives that you are actually in that sphere where you're looking around as if you're standing there.
Gosh, I actually understood that. That's
Thank
good,
you.
and I'm not very technically inclined, so that's good. Well done. Now, as futuristic as it already is, what does the future for this type of service have in store?
Oddly enough, the future of this technology already exists, but it's just not adapted to. It goes well beyond just virtual tours, standing in that one spot and spinning around. But there is also already software and technology developed to coordinate that spinning of the virtual tour with an interactive floor plan, connecting those virtual tours with hotspots, not just to jump from one virtual tour to another, but to actually see an animation of you moving through a room from one virtual tour to another. The issue is that with the time and investment it takes to produce that type of work, in the realty market specifically, it's just not worth the realtor's time to invest that type of money in having such an elaborate showcasing of the home done. Because if it takes a week from start to finish to shoot and produce that virtual tour that's so complex and connects, by then the home might have already been sold.
Yeah, honestly, a week in this business is almost just too long.
And dealing with realtors specifically, they want everything done yesterday.
Right.
The day that they call you in and order that virtual tour and set of photos, really what they're saying is, I wanted that done last Wednesday. Can you get it done for me tomorrow?
So let me grab my time machine and we'll be off. Bryan, for more information, if people watching this and want to find out a little more, how can they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of us by going to our website at www.digitalproperties.ca and following the email and phone links there.
Bryan Groulx from Digital Properties, thank you very much for coming on FYI. Very interesting stuff.